Okay, today's lesson, what we're looking at is substitution. I said in the last lesson we were looking at expressions where we would have something like 4 z plus 3x minus 7, and in that expression z and x have no value, so the expression has no value. That we could put any number, z could represent an infinite number of numbers, and x could represent an infinite number of numbers. Today, what we're going to do is we're actually going to give each value each variable a value, and therefore getting the expression to have a value. And the key thing we need to think about is what we looked at last lesson, is that 4z is actually 4 times z, and 3x is actually 3 times x. Actually, that's probably the perfect time to talk about it. You'll notice with my x's in algebra that I'll do that more slowly next time, that I do a backwards C and a forward C to join them together. It's bad practice to have them so that they overlap, so it's so bad it's really hard for me to even do it. So that's not really acceptable. However, if you write quickly, it happens. You do that. And you can see there, it's so you can see the difference between a multiply sign and a variable x. You can imagine if I have x times x times x, it's much harder to see. It's much harder to see that that's actually, if I use the normal x that we use in our writing, you can see it's really hard to see that which one's a multiplication and which one's not. So you need to get into the practice of doing an algebra X, so that that's clear. The other thing that's not particularly acceptable as well is having a gap between them. You can see next to the 3 there, that's not a particularly nice one at all. So when I see you and when I see it, I will be telling you to correct it. So it's much better if you get into the habit of doing that as soon as possible. So substitution, we're giving the variables value and to give the expression a value. So the example we've got here is that I'm going to say x is equal to 5. So what that means for this expression, y is equal to x2, is that y is equal to 2 times x, which is equal to 2 times 5, which gives me the answer 10. Now, in the second column, x isn't equal to 5 anymore, it's equal to 4. So it's the same process. So y is equal to 2 times x. So that means that y must be equal to 2 times 4, which is equal to 8. So when x is equal to 5, that expression is equal to 10. When x is equal to 4, that expression is equal to 8. So you can obviously see the reason why this is called substitution. You are just replacing the letters with the numbers, and then it becomes a bed maths question. So with y, it's x is x plus 9, so that's even easier. We can just go y is equal to x, which is 5, plus 9, which gives us 14. And with this one, it's y is equal to 4 plus 9, which is equal to 13. I've got my answer. Oh, that shouldn't be equal to 9. It should be minus 9. So the next one's a bit of a combination. So the key thing is keep the rules together. So it's, first of all, it's y is equal to 3 times x minus 9. And do your substitution. So 3 times 5 minus 9. So follow bed maths. So 3 times 5 is 15. Take away 9 gives us 6 for the answer. Follow the same process here. Y is equal to 3 times x minus 9. We then do our substitution. 3 times 4 minus 9. 3 times 4 is 12. Minus 9 gives us 3. So you can start to see the reason we did all that work with BEDMAS early in the year was looking at making sure that you're doing things in the right order. If we go 4 minus 9, you get minus 5 plus 3, so we're not going to get the right answer. So the other thing is that expressions can have more than one variable. But same rules apply. So you can see here we've got 4 bracket x plus b. So that's actually 4 times because there's nothing between them. So I can put a times there, and then it's a plus b. So looking at this question, we've got a is 6, b is 2. So I replace the a and the b. So it's 4 times a, times 4 times a, which is 6, plus b, which is 2. So that's going to be 4 times 6 plus 2, which is 8. Sorry, I forgot to mention, of course, with BEDMAS, brackets first. So do the addition first, it's inside the brackets. And then that gives you the answer 12. Okay, slightly more difficult one here that we've got a negative. So let's write it out. It's going to be equal to 4. Let's got the times again. Bracket 3 plus minus 5. And again, it's the reason why we did the integers at the start of the year. We need to be comfortable that 4 times 3 plus minus 5. So if you remember back to the integers, I've got a positive, so it's hot in the chili bin. I'm taking out, adding something cold, so the negative, so adding the negative, so you're adding something cold in it, so the temperature is going to go down. So you're going to end up with minus 2. So it's 4 times minus 2, which is equal to minus 8. So you times a positive and a negative together, you get a negative. If you need to revisit those integers, I suggest you get onto Education Perfect and just search through. There is a search function, just search negative integers and work through some tasks there. So a reminder of the steps for substitution: write the expression, replace the variable with its fixed value, and then find what the expression equals using BEDMAS, or remembering to use BEDMAS. There is a task for you on your OneNote. Go and complete that.